Hey guys, James from the Research Revolution. I'm over here on the Sun. Tram horror, Croydon tram crash. What caused the derailment and where did the tram overturn? The driver of the tram was arrested after emergency services had to free several from the wreck. 7 people died and dozens were injured after a tram came off rails in South London at rush hour. The driver of the tram was arrested after emergency services had to free several who were trapped and more than 50 were taken to the hospital. The driver of the tram was arrested after emergency services had to free several passengers. Let's play this. Looks like a little CIA interference. What is going on? Emergency crews are still at the scene of the accident. The 2-car vehicle toppled over as it went into a tunnel near the Sandylands tram stop near East Croydon. It is said to have rolled 3 times before coming to a halt, and the driver has now been arrested by police. Police confirmed that 7 people lost their lives in the tram crash, 6 men, 1 woman. Among those who have died were mother of 2, Dorita Rankowitz, 35, Dane Chinnery, 19, and a 57-year-old grandfather, Phil Seary. All were reported to be local. A number of people were freed, and more than 50 people were taken to the hospital with various injuries. Investigators from the Rail Accident Investigation Branch attended the scene. London Ambulance Service said 51 people had been taken to St. George's Hospital in Tooting, South London, and Croydon University. They're making this out to be about all the people that were killed, but I am seeing kind of a cover-up. Was this a jihad attack?
At least 7 people have been killed when a tram derailed in Croydon. The driver of the tram has been arrested. The Mayor of London said the number of people killed may rise. Sky's Enda Brady has the latest.
Emergency services were on the scene within minutes after the crowded 2-carriage tram tipped over onto its side next to an underpass in Croydon. People living nearby told of hearing a massive crash, screaming, and then the sirens from the ambulances. The driver of the tram was arrested, and British Transport Police will now lead this investigation.
We are working hard to assess the ongoing incident and are continuing to focus on our recovery efforts.
Rail accident investigators spent the day at the crash scene trying to piece together just what went so catastrophically wrong here. The Prime Minister offered words of condolence for the families affected.
My thoughts and prayers are with all of those who've been affected by this terrible incident that has taken place on the tram in Croydon. The emergency services are on the scene and they're working on the scene treating casualties.
The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, visited Croydon and spoke to some of the emergency crews at the scene.
We're now in the recovery stage of the operation. I want to pay tributes to the emergency services, particularly the London Fire Brigade, British Transport Police and the London Ambulance Service for their hard work throughout the day.
The investigation here will take weeks to conclude. It's believed to be the first British tram crash with onboard fatalities since 1959. Enda Brady, Sky News in Croydon.
The exact cause of the accident has not yet been discovered, but it happens as the tram entered a tunnel near the Sandylands tram stop near Croydon. It is reported to have rolled 3 times before coming to a halt. The derailment is understood to have occurred close to where the eastbound tram takes a sharp left turn as it starts to head north towards the Addiscombe stop. The 42-year-old driver being arrested on suspicion of manslaughter. Police are investigating whether the driver was using his mobile phone just before the crash. There are also reports the driver blacked out and was going too fast. The overturned tram remains on its side next to an underpass and appears to have derailed where the track branches. The Rail Accident Investigation Bureau is investigating this incident and will work out how this tragic incident happened. Local resident Hannah Kohler said, "I was in bed watching the election when I heard a big crash, which I thought was the wind. When I heard people shouting and then the emergency services arriving. Later I saw at least one person being brought out on a stretcher." One worried husband told how his wife had phoned him to say she couldn't get up or move on the tram. Oh my gosh. London's only tram network operates in south of the capital. The Wimbledon to Beckenham Junction, Emers End, and New Addington via Croydon. More than 27 million passengers used the service in 2015. The system uses a combination of on-street and segregated running for the 17 miles of track. Are tram crashes common? Tram crashes are very rare indeed. Today's derailment is believed to be the first tram crash involving fatalities on board in the UK since 1959. Back then, 2 women passengers and the driver were killed after a tram caught fire in Glasgow following a collision with a lorry. Alright guys.